Hi, I'm Sara Low, your host for Malaysian Property Weekly Talk with PropNext Malaysia. Today, we'll be discussing on the topic, how does public transport system affect on property price? It appears to be a timely topic where a few mega infrastructure projects are launched and the construction of MRT3 is currently underway. Today, I'm thrilled to have Jay Xiao and Mark Tu, who have done much research on this topic, to join me.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Thanks for your invitation.
Today, we would like to know about your standpoint and your point of view. What's the core relationship between the public transport and also property price? Mark, what do you think? Do you think the property prices will be affected if there is an MRT station?
For me, for my opinion, of course, yes. Because actually a lot of proven result already, like especially our neighborhood country like Singapore, Hong Kong, all these, especially in Hong Kong. Of course, we are not comparing with per square feet price. Hong Kong is definitely way higher than us. But what they mentioned in Hong Kong actually is one thing called 地鐵上蓋. I don't know whether you understand in Cantonese or not. So means that the house above the LRT station, actually they gain a lot. So already proven, MRT especially is like public transport will definitely help on property price.
But Mark, we are not comparing apple to apple. We are in different countries. Especially in Malaysia, the petrol price is so cheap. Everyone still prefer to drive compared to taking train, right? So what do you think, Jace? You agree?
Yeah, of course lah. I mean, we couldn't really directly compare with this country, but I believe what Mark Tu want to say, he is trying to giving us a perspective. I believe if public transport is really affected the prices of property, especially the demand on the rental. I mean, I understand Malaysia, or many of us are still prefer driving, because myself I also driving like every day. But I do think that there are some part of this population in Malaysia, they do really need public transport. You know, we have a part of people which we cannot neglect. Those people that they are working daily commute, they daily commute to the same place, such as the office workers, those executives in the multinational company. So I believe these people, they really need public transport, especially as we in this real estate industry line, we also have come across to a lot of people, they're using public transport to travel around with their places, such as their office to their home. So to me, I think that public transport can help people to save time in terms of less traffic jam. I believe, Sarah, you don't like traffic jam, right? Mike, do you like traffic jam?
Of course, no.
We don't like, because myself, we are real estate negotiator. Of course, our daily task, we need to drive cars. That is something that we cannot
So I think this is a good point. What you mean is it depends on your work nature. Whether you need to every day sit at office doing the 9 to 6 job, or you are that time that need to keep on travel outside and doing sales work.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's actually define whether you need this public transport or not.
Yes,
right?
and this part of population, they do really have many of them, which is we don't know, because they are commuting with this MRT station and public transport as well. So to me, my answer will be coming up in the future, it will definitely help property prices increase.
Majority people still prefer to drive because most important is the train is not so convenient, the station. Some they need to walk very long distance to the train station and then need a lot of stops only to reach the workplace. Yeah, so what do you think on this?
Okay, for me actually I agree and disagree lah. Because nowadays actually in Klang Valley a lot of train station already. Do you know how many trains we are operating now?
7?
You have any idea, Jace?
I don't know actually.
Okay, actually already have 13 trains are operating now. Yes,
13 trains.
13 lines.
13 lines, sorry,
okay.
13 lines. So because for the older generations, they will say that maybe the train's not convenient, because sometimes for the older time we still need to drive and park our car somewhere else, then only take trains or you need to interchange a lot then you only can reach your destination But now actually not Malaysia is working so hard for these infrastructures to help to reduce the traffic conditions. Yeah. So for me, I think that now I personally also take few times for this public transport. I majority also drive lah, because in Malaysia, driving to own a car cost is very cheap. It's not like Hong Kong.
Yeah.
To buy a public car park already costs about 1 million Hong Kong dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, what the reason I really like to use about public transport is because of the time. I save time, and then during the time I can do myself things, like I can read a book or I can check all my emails on the trains. But during drive, you cannot do this, right?
Yes, yes. I believe I quite agree on what Mark II said as well. Sarah, come back to the question that you asked just now. I mean, a lot of people, they said, oh, the train station is quite far away from it. But from my perspective, our clients, such as the people that come from overseas country, expatriates, they have a lot of comments that they say, today in Malaysia market, actually public transport is really convenient compared to a few years before. Because why we
yes.
have e-hailing service such as Grab car services, today in this situation, with simple app that you tap in down, you can find e-hailing services to bring you to the MRT station. Not only because of that, you can also save costs by using this service. I believe that it can help a lot on that. Because
Yeah.
myself also, sometimes if I have a client that is nearby, such as the Bukit Bintang area, a condominium there, I will try to take an e-hailing service to the MRT station nearby, and then I will take the MRT to that place to complete my deal. So I think for the combination of using them is really help a lot.
Okay, so what do you both means is depends on the traveling time, right? So if the traveling time is still within what we can adapt to, you know, then we can consider to take a train or public transport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
that is
Maybe
that's the right point,
20 to 30 minutes in a maximum. If let's say if I need to take 1 hour, then it doesn't make sense already, right?
Yeah, that one is
it's
old
not
story
so
already.
convenient. Yeah. So I think 20 to 30 minutes is a time frame that we can accept lah. You
Yes,
know.
yes.
So it means that investor, when they want to buy a property, they need to look at which target market they are target on. Yeah, which tenant or what type of group of customer they are looking on. You know, the hotspots. Yeah, maybe how many stations away from the CBD area, Central Business District area. You know, all the commercial hub.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Just come back to the point just now. Because of the you're talking about people are saying the station is quite far away from
Yes.
the condominium or the properties. So my point and Mark II is we still can use it combined with the e-hailing services.
Okay.
So it's still really helpful because it will avoid traffic jam, save time and also less stress, right?
But I'm still a bit skeptical because some of the condo that I see that's next to train station, the property price doesn't increase. Mark.
Yes, I could say yes. Why I say so? Because for now, actually still a lot of empty land for developer to develop. But let's say property investment actually is a long-term investment. Do you agree?
Yes.
Like 5 years minimum or maybe up to 10 years. But you try to imagine, let's say after 10 years, how many empty land still left for next to MRT station? That will be very limited. So on that point of time, you only go into the market, basically you already, the gap for capital appreciation already less compared to now. This is my point of view. I think now could be the best time because the MRT, the whole map, the whole train station is haven't complete yet. Then you can get cheaper, much cheaper price compared to after 10 years later.
Yeah. I need to add a little bit point here because you know Malaysia, we are a bigger country compared to our neighbor countries such as Singapore and Hong Kong. I mean, a lot of people might say, oh, if I buy an MRT station, will I really not buy a MRT station? If I buy a property near to close to MRT station, will that property really increase price? Of course, it's not like every single MRT station nearby will have a booming factor. We are talking about booming factor right today. So as an investor or property purchaser, I believe that you still need to do some research for your own right, Mark II.
Of course.
Cannot be a lazy person now, or else real estate salesperson such as us will have no value already, right? So we have to go through the whole train station and train line and study about which are the station proximity area have future development or amenities that can help to boost the demand and the usage for the property investor or the tenant there, right? Maktu?
Yes.
Do you have any example?
Okay, beside that, I list some example. Why not we see like this? Let's say now very hot area like our CBD KLCC or maybe TRX. We already know that one is a mature township lah. Alright, KLCC like Bukit Bintang, all these things. So who will be the potential tenant for that? Basically
Expatriate?
Yeah. Like expatriate lah, especially. So for local Malaysian market, but we don't overlook for this Malaysian market also. For Malaysian, we definitely cannot rent there because the rental there for 2-bedroom easily up to 5,000 per month. So Malaysian cannot afford that.
Yeah, correct.
So what my point is like that. So we have to look further a bit, maybe 3 stations more away from the CBD or 5 stations or maximum like 7 stations away from the CBD. That development close to MRT definitely will attract a lot of Malaysian but who work in the CBD will rent that because the rental there is so much lower than compared to KLCC. Maybe a 3-bedroom only costs you about 2,000 per month. Then that is a great investment point.
Seems like both of you is very optimistic on public transport in Malaysia.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, we are looking forward for that. So I believe now on under construction still we have MRT line 2 and then LRT line 3 and also we hopefully the HSR will be ongoing also. Yeah, so after all this completed, I believe that time is our harvest time for property investor.
Yeah. To add additional point to Mark 2 side, myself, I would think that every country or in our world, we always push by our next generation. The younger generation is always the one that push the market forward, right? So I was thinking is, for myself, my observation is nowadays the youngsters themselves, they don't really like to drive. I'm not sure about you. I'm also quite young. Of course, I'm driving now, but I do think the younger generation, the next generation, they don't really like to drive because due to the technology, 5G, right? Nowadays we are talking about 5G, automation driving system, right? You know, people are not going to drive themselves. So what are these affected to our future? People are not going to drive, they will use e-hailing. Sarah, I want to ask you, do you use e-hailing service? Do you use Grab service?
You mean Grab?
Your mom, will your mom use Grab service?
I think I use more than my mom lah.
Yeah. You see, this is a very very obvious things to go because of the adaptation of the technology. So my conclusion to this is, for the future next generation, they will push forward into this more adaptation to public services, public transport services, automation services. They want to have relaxed lifestyles. So with this completion of the MRT and LRT station, additional of these e-hailing services, I do believe the next generation will push forward to more demand on property whereby it's close proximity to MRT station.
Good
Do
point,
you agree?
Jace.
Do you agree?
Of course, I agree.
So do you still have any skeptical doubts or not?
I think what I can conclude here, one thing is aside from the MRT station, right, we need to look at maybe 3 to 5 stations from the commercial hub or the place that have a lot of job opportunities. People will go there and work. I think this is one of the good points because this is the acceptance times that we can accept 3 to 5 stations or maximum 7 stations maximum, you know. And then the second point is, aside from the MRT, because MRT is just one of the pushing factor, we need to look at the surrounding also, like the development in the surrounding, the future development, whether it will bring the value up of the whole area or not. I think this is very, very crucial. Yeah. So this is the 2 point of view that I can actually conclude here today. Thank you so much, Jace, and thank you so much, Mark.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed today's sharing session by Mark and Jace, and thank you for watching Malaysian Property Weekly Talk with PropNext Malaysia. I will see you in the next episode. stay at home, work at home, and own a home.
Hi everyone, I'm Marcus Stain, CEO of PropNext Malaysia. Today I'm going to share with you how to qualify yourself to be a buyer. Alright, so first of all, of course, the salary. And thereafter, the bank will take into 5 considerations. So one is 1B, then 2P, and 2C. B means that your basic living. Normally, the bank will take up 1,500 to 1,800 aside. Then thereafter, they will look into either you will have your PTPTN loan, your personal loan, and the 2C is your credit card and also your car loan. So if these 5 things add up together, assume it's a 3,000. Means that you still have 2,000 quota for your new home loan up to 400,000.